that his real name was Charles Lee Ray.
Eddie, help me! Eddie, don't leave me, God, no! I'm gonna get Eddie! No matter what!
Everyone should know who Chucky is by now. If not, you're gonna find out. Just keep watching. So this doll has 7 whole movies, dude. Well, technically 8, but we don't like to talk about that one, and I will explain why in a later video. I have always loved Chucky, and any criticism I give through these reviews will never negate how much I personally love this franchise. He is seriously my favorite horror movie monster. We will be reviewing and ranking the entire franchise based on how scary it is, in my opinion, because I like to talk about things, while also explaining why I would or would not survive the storyline. Child's Play was created by Don Mancini with an R rating and released in late 1988, meaning I was practically negative 14 years old when this film hit theaters. Our main character, Andy, is played by Alex Vincent, who was born in 1981. Andy is 6 years old in Child's Play. I love his involvement later in installments. Like, Andy is a great actor for real. We start off in Chicago, Illinois in 1988. Detective Mike Norris is chasing down the main antagonist, Charles Lee Ray. He's a wanted serial killer nicknamed the Lakeshore Strangler. Detective Norris ain't letting him go nowhere. They start shooting at each other and Charles breaks into a local toy store. Norris follows him and fatally shoots Charles. He makes a promise to get Detective Norris and Eddie before he deadass calls on a whole demon. Using voodoo, Charles calls on the demon of Damballa, which transfers his soul into a nearby good guy doll before his death. Now we meet Andy. It's his birthday and all he wants is a good guy doll. He wakes his mommy up with some nasty ass breakfast, but he's sick, so why and how the fuck did she allow this little man just up and destroying shit? I don't know. Not me as a mama, but mama trying to get the doll on a low, so she buys a good guy doll from some homeless man in the alley while on break at work. Afterwards, she surprises Andy with the toy, and honestly, little man loves it. And I can't gloss over enough how adorable he is. I mean, look at him, he's so adorable. Andy's mom has to stay late at work, and her best friend Maggie decides to stay over and watch little man. He's getting ready for bed, and Chucky the doll supposedly told Andy he wanted to watch the 9 o'clock news. There's a weird scene with Maggie. After sending Andy off to bed, she finds Chucky watching the news all by himself. And of course, she blames Andy, thinking he's fooling around, and scolds him about it. Now at this point, you question if this is a child or something different, but things get weirder. While Maggie stays up waiting for Andy's mom to get off from work, you see a child's point of view, or at least someone that is shorter than adults, walking through the house and moving things. Maggie comes to investigate thinking Andy is up, and due to spilled flour, a jump scare of a phone call, and a hammer to the face, Maggie stumbles straight out of a window backwards, landing on a car. Of course, an incident like that would call for the police to show up, so the police arrives, and Andy's mom is soon to follow as she frantically searches for her child. Andy is fine, and when questioned about what happened, only is saying that Maggie had an accident. The lead detective, Mike Norris, explains the incident, pointing out small footprints at the scene indicating this was no accident, but someone had killed Maggie. With Andy's pajamas matching the prints, not in size, but design, he has turned into the main suspect. Andy's mom cuts in, stopping them from suspecting her child of murder, and everyone goes home. Andy goes back to bed, and we will soon find out suspiciously, Chucky's shoes are covered in the same flour. At this point in the story, I have my doubts because kids talk to dolls all the time, and I seen that behavior is normal, you know, but okay, look at his shoes. There's no way. See, hell no. Andy tries to tell his mother, but he's just a kid, so he tries his best. He tells his mom that Chucky did it, and I mean, he did. And I understand her resistance due to Andy being a child going through something traumatic, but why not entertain things a little bit? Because maybe she would have found out, but okay. Because if she looked even for a second, this shit wouldn't have been. But anyways, after Andy says some mean things about Aunt Maggie that Chucky told him, I guess it's time for them to go to sleep. Now, of course, looking at this portion of the movie, right, like I just lost my best friend to some type of freak accident. My child is slandering my best friend's name. Like, oh my God, what the fuck? Like, I honestly probably would have not believed my own child in this instance as well. It would have been like, you know what, just go to sleep. Just go to sleep because we don't know what's going on. And like from the detective pulling up for real, and trying to tell me that my own child would commit such an act, like honestly, I would need to go to sleep. Like you're doing too much, way too much. I'd have definitely kicked him out. But my child, tell me my kid would have killed my best friend? Oh hell no, we going to sleep. Go to sleep. Hold up, give me a second. Okay, I need time to process what the fuck you're trying to tell me right now, okay? Next day, Andy goes to school and his mom kisses him goodbye, but as soon as she walks away, Andy leaves school with the Chucky doll. Chucky got this little boy taking trains to places, and honestly, this is where things get weird for me. I assume Andy's mom went home or to work, but if she knew, maybe she would would agree that Chucky is somehow alive. Like, how the fuck would a 6-year-old child know how to navigate Chicago like this? Nah, Chucky is definitely alive, man. When they arrive at the destination, Andy asks if this is Eddie's place. He puts Chucky down to take a pee. Now we get a shorter POV, one of course we can only assume to be Chucky, and is confirmed when Chucky opens an oven and turns on the gas. Andy finishes up and starts to look for his doll, all while Chucky is here baiting the fuck out of Eddie, coaxing him to shoot. Upon hearing gunshots, Andy runs towards the hideout looking for Chucky, and Eddie eventually shoots, causing an explosion. Luckily, Andy survives this as he was just nearby. Later on, Mrs. Barkley, Andy's mom, pulls up to the police station assuming they've contacted her because of where Andy was found. Detective Norris talks to Miss Barkley in his office, presumably about how people keep dying in Andy's presence. Mrs. Barkley questions Andy because looking at the evidence, it seems that Andy may be responsible for Chucky's wrongdoings. They've decided to take Andy into custody, and Mrs. Barkley leaves the police station with the doll. Well, at home, she doubts that her child is capable of doing this. 2 people have died within 2 days. I can understand how she thinks it is impossible. While talking to Chucky, asking him to speak, and slowly starting to believe she's insane, the batteries fall from the gift box Chucky came in while she attempts to dispose of it. Next, we get to a tense scene where she has to check his batteries, resulting in a jump scare when Chucky, in fact, has been operating without batteries. She drops Chucky and he rolls under the couch. She lights the fireplace and threatens Chucky to speak. We see now that Chucky is fully alive. I mean, beforehand, we only saw his literal hand, but Miss Barkley at this point never seen him move. And move he does. Like, how the fuck do you even lose a fight to a literal doll? He bit her arm and kind of just curses her out until she throws him off of her. And of course, this interaction, he runs away. Miss Barkley tries to catch him, but she is too late. Her next move is to let Detective Mike Norris know, but to him, she looks insane. Your child said the doll moved, and now you're saying it. Even the evidence of the bite mark Chucky left is not enough. Which makes sense logically. I took a child from her mother. Of course, this may cause some mental trauma, and some mothers will absolutely do whatever they can to get their child back, so I can't blame either of them in this situation. Miss Barkley leaves and wanders around looking for the homeless man who sold her the doll, and eventually she finds him. Disgustingly, these men don't seem to want to help at all, and before she is assaulted, Mike Norris comes to her rescue. Norris interrogates the homeless man and finds out the doll came from the same burned down toy store that Charles Lee Ray was shot down in. This news shocks him as he tells Barkley about it. Now it's up in the air about whether or not Andy and his mother's stories are to be believed. Mrs. Barkley thinks the discovery is good because she now knows who Chucky is. She wants to investigate Chucky's home. Mike Norris kicks her out of the car because everything she is saying to him seems ludicrous. Later, while Detective Mike Norris is driving, he ends up getting attacked by Chucky and almost does not survive. During the attack, he flips his car and sees Chucky the doll in all its glory. I wonder how he would even tell people about his discovery. Also in a scuffle, we get to see that Chucky doesn't want to just get rid of Detective Mike Norris, mainly because he starts to toy with him. Chucky has a chance to get rid of him and doesn't take it, giving Mike Norris the power to shoot in his direction, in which Chucky leaves. Meanwhile, Mrs. Barkley goes to Chucky's address and sees paintings on the walls, which I take to be some symbolization of his voodoo abilities. Detective Mike Norris pulls up, now supporting her, but never really supporting her argument. In my opinion, he should have told her that he did encounter Chucky. Chucky goes to see John, a man who taught Charles Lee Ray what he does today about voodoo. Chucky complains about how he can still get hurt even in his state, which is not to be expected. John explains the longer he stays in the vessel, the more human he becomes. John does not agree with Chucky and what he has done to himself, deciding not to help him. Now, before I say this next part, it's time to get educational. Okay, so back in the day, practitioners used what some would call voodoo dolls to keep record of the body parts that were treated every visit, symbolized by a pin that was put to the treated area. I don't like what Hollywood has done to the concept of voodoo dolls. Chucky takes a voodoo doll made of John and tortures him for an answer. John admits he must transfer his soul into the first human he has shown himself in full to, in this case being Andy Barkley. Chucky still ends up fatally injuring John. Not long after, Mrs. Barkley and Detective Norris pulls up, and in John's last breath, he tells them in order to get rid of Chucky, they must attack the heart. Meanwhile, Andy is still locked up. Lil Man looks out a window and sees Chucky looking for him. He tries his best to beg for help from the workers, but of course they don't believe him. Chucky finds his way into the facility in Andy's room, and Andy refuses to go down without a proper fight. He dresses the bed as if he is still in it and slips away when Chucky approaches, but upon escaping, the workers notice. He evades the workers, but is still not successful when Chucky attacks him in some type of medical room. Andy grabs a scalpel, planning to defend himself before a worker finds him. The worker attempts to sedate Andy. As he fights, Chucky attacks the worker with a scalpel. When he falls, Chucky puts some type of electrotherapy machine on him and shocks the man. Andy sees this all, by the way. Like, poor baby. Miss Barkley and Mike Norris arrive at the psych ward that Andy is in. Mike finds out that someone has gotten rid of a worker. He inquires about Chucky with his partner as Miss Barkley finds out from another child that Chucky was there and is looking for Andy. She explains to Mike that she taught Andy to go home if he feels threatened, opting to look there next. We find out that Andy is in fact home. He locks the door and tries his best to barricade it. Chucky is hot on his tail, already making his way towards the home. Andy tries to arm himself in a closet as Chucky arrives through the fireplace. He finds Andy and starts chasing him through the house while eventually subduing him and starts the process of a ritual that is supposed to transfer his soul into Andy. Mid-chant, he is stopped by Miss Barkley and the fight begins. They kind of struggle a bit before throwing him away from them. Chucky gets up and slashes Mike Norris's leg before vanishing. Mike arms Miss Barkley with a weapon to protect her and her son while he goes and starts to sweep the house for Chucky. While looking under a bed, he is attacked by Chucky with some kind of broomstick thing, and here comes Miss Barkley to save the day. She shoots Chucky in the knee, knocking him back, but Chucky ate that shit. He ran at her full force, forcing her to run away. In typical horror movie fashion, she trips, of course giving Chucky easy access, but she throws his 29-inch ass off her, which is 74 centimeters if you're not in the United States, into the fireplace. Now little man Andy is up and moving. He sees his mom struggling. She has the cover over the fireplace, but cannot reach the matches at the same time. His solution, of course, is to help his mother. Chucky tries his little trick on Andy, saying they're friends to the end. Andy's not taking his shit, saying this is the end, friend, before he drops the match to ignite Chucky. And I mean, Chucky mad flammable. Like, honestly, I understand he's a doll, but maybe with good dye dolls being intended for children, I'm sure the company needs to look into why their product is so damn flammable. Andy embraces his mom, and Detective Norris is hurt, but not fatally. Andy goes to get a first aid kit when, lo and behold, Chucky don't moved. It's not over. And where did he go? Andy, of course, is ready to piss his pants. Like, man, we done shot and fried you and you still not dead? I'd be thinking this is my life now. Like, burnt ass doll, forever following me, because nah, how did that not kill him? Like, his mom calls him and Chucky trips Andy in the hallway while he's on his way, but Miss Barkley is quick to the draw, stopping him and protecting her baby. Chucky tries multiple points of entry and it's too late. He stabs the door and eventually finds a way into chasing them down. Well, more of a walk, I guess. Mrs. Barkley takes the opportunity to shoot Chuck. She shot this man's head off and he's still walking, but not only the head, he lost the arm and a leg. Chucky flops around for a bit before she shoots him in the back a couple of times, fully emptying the barrel into him. Then Detective Norris's partner walks in, completely oblivious. They explain Chucky was alive, but the partner won't believe it, of course, because I mean, he's sane and a normal human. He goes to look for evidence to confirm and finds Chucky's head, playing with it and still not believing. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't believe it either. While doing his little comedy act, Chucky bursts through a vent, grabbing Norris's partner by the neck, and his head surprisingly curses from its position. Norris lands the killing shot straight to the heart, ending things for sure this time. Chucky's head says his world-famous catchphrase one last time before he's gone. Andy takes one last look at what was supposed to be the best birthday present ever, forever traumatized by something so innocent. Let's get into whether or not I'd survive this scenario. Putting myself into Mrs. Barkley's shoes, of course, I wouldn't believe my son at first. I, however, would never, and I mean never, believe my child would be capable of getting rid of two random people. My first thought would be that another adult probably being associated with his school or even a detective. I don't care. It just wasn't my kid. You know what I'm saying? After he gets taken away, I probably wouldn't have interrogated Chucky at first, as soon as I got home, but I definitely would have cleaned up and found the batteries, and that would have definitely made me interrogate him, and I probably wouldn't have threatened him. The only part in which I feel like she actually messes up is not ending things sooner. When she decided to shoot Chucky in the back a few times, I mean, like, come on. The voodoo man, I don't know that man's name. I forgot his name. I don't care. Okay. The voodoo man said shoot him in the heart. Like, you got the gun. Okay, you pointed at his back. You're like, oh yeah, that's a good spot right there. Like, I'm gonna just shoot him right there. What the hell are you talking about? Get out of here. But, you know, I don't really blame her for it because, I mean, like, they survived, right? From Norris's standpoint, though, after the homeless man told me where he got the Chucky doll from, I would be 100% on board with Mrs. Barkley. And honestly, I would have tried to pull Andy out of the psych ward just to set up an operation using Andy as bait. It wouldn't be a like crazy idea, you know? I mean, I get it, he's a child, but at the end of the day, like if Chucky wants him like sting operation surrounding a child, I don't even need that many people. Like I wouldn't even try to like associate myself with the police to get everybody down here. No, fuck that. Listen, it's just gonna be me and Mama Bear got it. Obviously, she got something in there, right? And we just gonna make sure we get rid of this doll because it's a more controlled environment. Like, that's what we need right there. I don't know why Detective Norris wasn't really on nothing for real. Overall, the film ranking-wise will be S tier. The acting was beautiful, and for a film released in 1988, I expect that really, but what really earns the cake was the shock value back then. Audiences were definitely stunned, and children who have seen it didn't even want to play with dolls anymore. I saw this film at a young age, and it took a different effect on me. Since that day, I have always like had Chucky as my favorite horror movie monster, and sometimes I even call him my son. I may seem to be a little bit biased, but I don't care. It's my review, okay? I'm gonna do what I want anyways. And I tried to keep things together, but come on, it's the film that is horror movie gold to me. Like, it is so close to my heart. Overall though, I love Child's Play. I've had a lot of fun editing this video, and it's brought back memories of a much simpler time for me. If you enjoyed my breakdown, please like and don't forget to subscribe because I'll be dropping videos a few times a month, and I know you do not want to miss out. The comments are open for future suggestions on horror movies I can cover in the future, and with that, I'll see you guys for Child's Play 2.